and welcome to another episode of Screenwriting Uncut. In this video, I want to answer a simple question that I think has led to some degree of confusion and misunderstanding about what this is all about. And that question is, what is a fast screenplay? When I first decided to call my system fast, I think there was a misconception about what that is and what that means. So I want to clear that up here. When you first hear the phrase fast screenplay, it may conjure up images of screenplays being written quickly. And that is part of it, but you're only going to write fast after you've mastered the process in some level. The problem that we have with writing, it's also the opportunity we have with writing, is that when someone reads your work, they don't know if you spent 3 days on it, or 3 weeks on it, or 3 years on it, or 10 years on it. You can labor over every word, or you can just blast the material out. The reader is not intrinsically going to know how long it took you to write something. So ultimately, it makes no difference how fast you wrote it. What matters is how fast it reads. A fast screenplay is a screenplay that reads fast. A screenplay that when they open those pages and they start reading those words, it hooks them, it draws them in, it makes them want to know more. And it's so engaging that they start flipping those pages quickly. A fast screenplay, so because they want to know what happens next. When it comes to screenwriting particularly, writing a fast screenplay is not an option. You must. It's the only way you're going to be able to sell your work. And there's a reason for that, which I'll cover in a minute. But when you write a screenplay that is slow, that is awkward, that is confusing, that the images are not clear, or the characters aren't clear, or what's happening in the scene isn't clear, or just the language of the sentence structure that you use, when you write a screenplay that slows the reader down, it becomes very hard for the reader to read your screenplay. And that's not just some small pedantic issue. When it comes to screenwriting, the reality of screenwriting is that the screenplay is more or less intended to be the movie on the page, cinema on the page. So in a screenplay, for example, 1 page of screenplay is more or less equivalent to 1 minute of screen time. Part of the reason for that is production logistics. Part of the reason for that is to give you a sense of pace and a sense of flow. If you write a fast screenplay, if you write a screenplay that reads fast and is written in a way that pulls that reader through your screenplay, you're going to read the script at a rate of about a page a minute. So that a 100-page screenplay equals roughly a 100-minute movie. If it's written fast, then it will read in roughly 100 minutes. So that as you read your screenplay, you're literally experiencing the cinema experience on the page. Screenplays only include what you can see or hear on screen. They don't include backstory. They don't include thoughts. They don't include an over-descriptive scene, partly because we want the reader's imagination to picture that movie. You know, I have this old saying that I came up with at some point along the way, and it is that, they always say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, in screenplays, we write pictures. It's all about creating that image that we're going to see on the screen, on the page. So, as a screenwriter, it's not about can you write this draft in 3 days. If you read any of those old classic stories of the screenwriter that wrote whatever classic film in 2 days or 3 days, there's probably hundreds of rewrites that come after that. Yeah, you can blast it out onto the page, but who cares? Ultimately, what matters is, are you creating that cinema experience on the page? If you are, it's a fast screenplay. If you create a screenplay that reads fast, then it can engage with the producer or the production company. So when I decided to create my system, I called it FAST, which is basically there are 4 parts to the writing process. It's developing your story, creating that story plan. It's writing the first draft. It's rewriting until you have a solid draft, and then it's polishing, fine-tuning, making it into a page-turner screenplay, a fast screenplay. So what I did was I turned that into a simple acronym. You focus your idea, your random ideas into a story. You apply that story to the page, your first draft. You strengthen the script until it's solid, and then you tweak the words on the page. So it's FAST. Yes, it's partly a branding exercise, but it's branding for a purpose. It's branding to remind you of what the ultimate goal of screenwriting actually is, and that is to create a fast screenplay. A screenplay that when someone reads it, it is literally a page turner they can't put down, because that's what's going to put the movie idea, the movie experience in their mind. Now, can you write that fast? Absolutely you can. There are dozens, hundreds of little nuances and facets that you need to master, which comes with experience. So as you go through the process, as you write a screenplay, you learn what works and what doesn't. You develop and refine those skills. Then you begin to develop them faster and faster. And as you write faster, ultimately, the goal is going to be to create a fast screenplay, a screenplay that reads fast, intuitively. Mastery is when skills and knowledge are just an intuitive part of you, and you can more or less create something quickly and fluidly. If you think of a painter who's a master painter, they can probably draw something extraordinary very quickly. But there were years of practice leading up to the ability to do that. So by creating the process where we go through that process, systematically taking you from idea through that process to completion to create a fast screenplay. By doing that and designing it in a way that you can do it over and over, what happens is every new project you write, you get faster, you get more intuitive, the skills become a part of who you are, and that's when you write the screenplay quickly. So ultimately, what is a fast screenplay? It's a page turner they can't put down. You need to write one of those in order to sell your work. How you're going to do that quickly is you're going to master that process that enables you to develop your skills, refine your skills, and ultimately create something producers can actually use. FAST as an acronym is the system that helps you do that. So I hope this is clear. I hope this is inspiring. And whether you join me or not in this process, I hope that you understand that this is your goal and that creating that involves all the little elements of screenwriting and mastering all of them and their interconnectedness to get where you're trying to go. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.